Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody. It is Monday, June 15th, and you know what that means. It's time for the High Risk Wrestling Recap. I am your host, Jeremy Pierce. You know you can check out the socials, Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic_Creations52 on Instagram, and of course the 215 on Twitter. Without further ado, let's get into the news. So EC3, as you know, he is currently out. Oh, it's not an injury or anything. It's just fitting the storylines of him being attacked by Eric Young. He will definitely be back soon. I'm assuming he'll actually be back in time for Slammiversary. But on the opposite end of the WWE, CM Punk, he's not out due to lack of creative. It's just rest, I guess. He has been hurt multiple times since coming back to the WWE, and they don't need him in storylines right now. He's not fighting for the world title, and he's not in the King of the Ring. Logan Paul's Crypto Zoo defamation lawsuit will be heading to federal court for his hearing. Remember back in 2024, he filed a federal defamation lawsuit against Stephen Findelstein, better known as CoffeeZilla, over a series of videos investigating the failed Crypto Zoo cryptocurrency game. CoffeeZilla accused Paul of misleading fans and characterized the project as a scam, and claims that Paul has consistently denied that is a scam. So we're going to the hearing. He has been adamant about fighting this. Kaylee Ray made her return recently to Pro Wrestling Eve, and she revealed that the WWE chose not to renew her contract, which is, I'm going to say good for her, because she really wasn't fitting in there. And she took a hard, long look and decided, well, what would she do? And she's back on the Indies being who she is, Kaylee Ray. TNA had just announced a return at Slammiversary, a legend for Slammiversary. Your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler, the X Division icon, Amazing Red, will be returning to TNA for Slammiversary. We don't know if he's going to have a match. We don't know if he's going to speak. All we know is he's going to be there. He is part of the early days of TNA, representing the X Division. And as you know, he is one of the owners and the heads of the House of Glory independent promotion. Jack Perry's contract is coming up, and he's currently negotiating a new deal. I wholeheartedly expect him to re-sign with AEW. I do not expect him to go anywhere. He, for all intents and purposes, is a pillar of AEW. The WWE just believes Jey Uso is a safer bet than LA Knight. This is according to WrestleVotes. Yes, Knight botches from time to time, but wrestling isn't perfect. They also think Jey Uso is a better wrestler than LA Knight. There's a lot going down. The fans were not happy about LA Knight losing his King of the Ring match. We have a possible spoiler on a potential winner for the Queen of the Ring. Oh man, it looks like, and I probably could have figured this out. I think I told you guys this. Probably going to be Io Sky. Now, I do not know if they get to choose who they face, because the current Raw Women's Champion, World Champion, is Liv Morgan, and over on SmackDown it is Rhea Ripley. And if it was like the Royal Rumble, then she would just choose Rhea Ripley. On the injury side of things, MJF gave us an update on his knee. It is hyperextended, but looks like he will be good to go for Forbidden Door. Plus, they could hide him in the steel cage match. Kota Ibushi is not expected back anytime soon. He plans on wrestling. Remember, he got hurt back in, was it late 2024? He's already been out a year, but he will plan. Well, he's coming back. I believe he's going to come back. Zaria was pulled from the Owen Hart tournament because American doctors do not play around with necks. She said she received permission from her Japanese doctors, but the American doctors were like, no, we're being cautious. It's your neck. We want you in perfect condition so you can perform. And she was okay with that and replaced with Maya World. Rhea Ripley is being evaluated for her knee injury coming out of Clash in Italy. We shall see what happens at, what's the next pay-per-view? Night of Champions, if she will wrestle there. But right now she's kind of been limited in what she's been doing on SmackDown. Octagon Jr. has undergone surgery after suffering a couple injuries at the AAA tapings. He says he's good. We don't know what the true extent of his injury is, but he's out. He's going to be out for the time being. I think AAA will be fine with him being gone, he'll be okay. It looks like it was a neck injury. He had an MRI. He is good. He had the surgery, but that's the news. We should be right back with the weekend review. All right, you know how we do. It's the week in review. We starting off with Monday Night Raw. We're finishing up the first round of the King of the Ring. We're starting with, ladies and gentlemen, Oba Femi. The show gets a fist. Oba comes out and is letting everybody know, like, listen, he's not done with Brock, and he is definitely not done with him at all. He is going to win the King of the Ring. Dom comes out and is like, yo, bro, come on, man. It's me. I'm Dominic Mysterio. Oba's like, nah, bro. The Judgment, they try to attack him. Oba obviously goes through them and tells Dom, Rey Mysterio is your father, but I will be your daddy next week, boy. Backstage with Seth. We got a recap of everything going with Seth, Spirit, and Heyman accidentally gets Spirit to the barricade. Seth calls out Roman's like, you can't beat me on your own, and you're holding a title that doesn't even belong to you. I'm going to win King of the Ring. I'm coming for that championship. We got a first round King of the Ring matchup: Alexa, Becky, Liv, and Chelsea Green. We started with Liv hitting a dive on Becky and Green hitting a crossbody on them both. Becky threw Bliss into the post before we went to break. Liv in the power bombing Chelsea Green up the top rope. Bliss hitting that twist abyss to break up the pin, and Becky hit a manhandle slam. Green hit the Unprettier, but Liv rolled up Chelsea with a jackknife pin to get the W. I'll let you know right now, ladies and gentlemen, fans were not happy about Liv Morgan winning this match, and I can very much understand why. We go backstage with Gable apologizing to Penta, and, you know, everything about El Grande Americano and everything just spiraling out of control. Penta accepted his apology. Seth was backstage before Montez for hyping with the Usos, and Jacob confronted Seth and Jay warned about talking about the family. Seth said Roman Reigns keeps Jimmy sidelined and treats them like his bag boys. Fatu stared down Seth as fans chanted his name and then walked away. Seth knows what's up. Bayley gave Lyra a pep talk before her title match, and this led to Sol Ruka putting the Intercontinental title on the line against one Lyra Valkyria. Lyra dumped Sol over the top rope early on, and Sol hit a running knee for the two. It was a solid match. Lyra countered the Soul Snatcher into a sit-out pin, but ultimately Soul got one more counter in and dropped Lyra with the Soul Snatcher to retain the championship. We then transitioned to LA Knight said he'd win King of the Ring and face Roman, calling the bloodline a collapsing empire, and he said he was unchosen by management but chosen by the fans. And Jay entered, ran it back. And Jay said he answers for the family and he'll be winning on Friday. And I said, listen, I love that you have this intensity, this protection for your family. That is what a man should do. But real talk, screw your family. Jay was ready to fight, and Jimmy had to pull Jay away. I mean, Knight's not wrong, ladies and gentlemen. Gable apologized to Ray and Dragon Lee, and they said, after the mass versus mass match, we respect you. Just led us into the other IC title match for the evening. Penta putting a belt on the line against Rey Mysterio in a dream match of sorts. These two just put on a clinic of what Lucha Libre wrestling is all about. Penta ultimately countered the splash. Ray had the 619, dropped the dime. He was going for the splash, but Penta got his knees up. Mexican Destroyer retained the championship. They showed respect to each other after the match until Ethan Page and Rusev attacked Penta. Dragon Lee ran out but was thrown out, and Rusev tried to rip his mask off. Penta covered him as the mask was taken off, and we are not even close to being done, ladies and gentlemen. Raquel vowed to win the Queen of the Ring. Talla Tonga was shown backstage, and we go to Roxanne apologized to Liv for last week, and Liv accepted. Dom said JD, they got their plan for Oba failed, but Liv said she has a new plan. We led us into the other King of the Ring matchup for the men: Seth, Ricky Saints, Talla Tonga, and Javon Evans. This was our main event for the evening. Talla cleared the ring early. Seth and Ricky were working together to take him out. Evans had a Spanish fly on stage before Seth did the pedigree. Talla got hit with a triple power bomb, but Javon landed on his feet. Talla hit Evans with a T-bone. Theory pulled the ref out after Seth had stomped Talla, so there you go. Forward got Theory out the way. Breaker spears Seth. Saints tried to steal the pin, but ultimately Javon Evans hit the OG cutter to get the W and move on in the king of the ring. Over on Dynamite, this was the summer blockbuster show. This is kind of one of their new TV specials that they've been doing. This is the second year that they've done this. This show gets a slight, ladies and gentlemen, thumbs up. And we opened up with a kind of a not great opening with Jericho and Ciampa confronting each other. It ultimately led to them brawling as Jericho provoked Ciampa, but Ciampa broke free and tackled Jericho on the ramp. Let's see where this match goes. I wouldn't put this match on Forbidden Door, but we shall see. Don Callis told Renee kayfabe and took over the interview. Andrade confronted Kevin Knight, and Don Callis demanding a world title shot. And Knight said he was the real champion and told Andrade to watch how they handle business. Callis promised Andrade that he would get his title shot. Andrade's pissed. He's probably the next one to leave the family. We got our first match of the evening, which was Jon Moxley putting the Continental Championship on line against Shane Taylor. And this was a fine match. It was good. You knew Mox was going to win. He tapped out Shane. I've just seen better from these two, if that makes sense. Like they had a match from Collision last year, which was much better than this. And Mox wasn't even the Continental Champion. It was either last year or the year before. But it was fine. After the match, he attacked Mox, and the promotion swarmed, and they put Mox down in the dirt. And they all stood tall, as is leading to the street fight that's going down on Collision. We got a package for Mercedes Moné. It says she watched others fail to fill her shoes, and she vowed to win the Owen Hart Cup. She said Hazuki was next, and they got some business with each other. Don Callis introduced I keep saying LA Knight, Kevin Knight. He said he wanted to become Jet 2 belts and called out MJF. Darby attacked Knight and said, I hope New York was worth it. He's going to take that TNT championship from him. He's coming for everybody in the family. Mark Briscoe pitched an idea to Tony Khan, and TK said it was a good plan and told him that he was the man. Briscoe headed to the ring for his match versus Pac. Solid matchup. Briscoe was going to always win his match. I need Pac to get some W's, but he is a really good opponent. Pac hit the Black Arrow, but Briscoe recovered and dropped him with the J Driller. After the match, ladies and gentlemen, he called out MJF, called him a coward, and demanded that he come out. And MJF appeared, and Briscoe stared him down. And here's what happened. MJF said Briscoe wasn't getting a title shot and called him AEW's final authority. MJF said Briscoe would be the anchor dragging AEW down. MJF said friends are liabilities and money's all that matters. So the Lethal Twist attacked Briscoe, who was on MJF's payroll. Briscoe fought them off until the rest of the conglomeration made it save. Briscoe announced a 6-on-6 steel cage match for Forbidden Door, and if his team wins, they will get a title shot. But also, the team will also beat each other in a 6-man tag next week. Orange Cassidy took on Andrade. Andrade controlled early and posed for a selfie with the fan. Cassidy posed with Leo Rush, who was in the crowd, because it's fine. Andrade attacked him. Cassidy hit tornado DDTs on the floor and in the ring, but ultimately Andrade countered the orange punch, dropped him with the spinning back elbow, and then hit the DM for the win. Andrade asked the crowd, how you know? And he posed with his global championship. Leo rushed there from ringside, and Cassidy rolled away. And listen, MJF has challengers, and Andrade is one of them. Ospreay said nothing would stop him from main eventing All In. Alex Windsor confronted him about her loss. She was crying. Whatever, that was fucking dumb. But they also did just get married today. Thekla cut a promo, and she said she would destroy Stardom and burn it all down. She is the idol killer. Mox said Shane Taylor could have walked away with his pride, but now It's different. Garcia challenged them to a 5-on-5 street fight, and Shafira said she wasn't done with Trish Adora. Moxley collision would be a war. Maya World took on Sky Blue in Owen Hart. This was the quarterfinal match. Maya World was replacing Sari, and this was fun. So Maya World won the match. And if anything else happened in her life outside of what happened, I don't think she would have won the match. Her brother had passed, and now she gets to face Athena in the second round. These two ladies have history. It was an emotional moment for Maya, where Sky Blue was shocked. MJF offered Don Callis a brief gift of cash for 5 of his guys, and Callis accepted. Knight demanded a title shot after Forbidden Door. MJF agreed, but instead of Knight loses again, he will not get any more rematches. Andrade watched skeptically as Callis promised him his title match. Our main event, Swerve, Strickland, Brody King in their semi-final match in the Owen Hart. These dudes brawled early and brawled often. Brody was already bleeding. Swerve hit a top rope house call for a near fall. Brody hit a running Death Valley driver and a cannonball for a 2 count. Prince Nana hit Brody with an object behind the rough's back, allowing Swerve to hit him with, I think Swerve actually dropped this man with a vertebreaker, which is crazy. And Swerve moves to the Owen finals to take on Will Ospreay. This is a rematch of Forbidden Door 2 years ago when Swerve was world champion. I'm almost sure it was 2 years ago. Over on Impact, Nick Nemeth is calling his shot. The show gets a fist. We got a recap of everything that's going down. Our first match of the evening was Mike Santana putting the TNA World Championship on the line against one Eric Young. Santana charged Young at the bell and hit a corner powerbomb for the 2. Young slammed Santana on the apron and hit a neck breaker before the break, but ultimately Santana hit the rolling buck 50 for a 2 count. The ref was bumped. Young hit a low blow, bell shot, power driver, 2 count. Ricky Sosa returned, distracting Eric Young, allowing Santana to get the W with a roll up. Nick Nemeth entered with his trophy and said he will cash in a Slammiversary as promised. All right, let's see what happened. Ali mocked Casey Navarro's recent losses, and Ali offered condolences for Navarro's uncle. Ali said Navarro would lose again tonight. We got a recap of AJ Francis buying Elijah's likeness and music. Elijah vowed no one would silence him. A lawyer served him a cease and desist, and Mr. Elegance rolled up during this distraction. So we get Elijah versus Mr. Elegance, and Mr. Elegance ultimately used the distraction and grabbed a small package. This was a 12-second match, ladies and gentlemen. After the match, AJ Francis mocked Elijah. Elijah ended up attacking him. Laying Lee battled with the Elegance until Zaria Brookside interfered, but was also taken out. Then we were with Nick Nemeth, who gave Casey Navarro a pep talk. I don't know when Nick became a good guy. Ryan joined in. Santana approached and respected Nemeth for announcing his title shot. Navarro asked for help against Order 4. Both men considered it. Fabian Eichner and Leon Slate took on the System. Slater kicked Edwards immediately. The System was represented by Cedric Alexander and Eddie Edwards. Alexander suplexed Eichner on the apron before the break, and Eichner fought back, tagged Slater, who cleaned house. Eichner hit a tornado DDT, so the System members interfered. Slater dove onto them at the ringside, but ultimately Alexander hit the lumbar check to get the W. The System attacked him after the match, and Moose returned to clear house. Moose versus Eddie Edwards was set for a Slammiversary. Santino celebrated last week's win with Indy Hartwell. She requested a match with Elena Black, and Santino granted it for next week. All right. We were in the ring with the Righteous, who bragged about poisoning Jeff Hardy. He said the Hardys were obsolete in the Wicked Garden. They demanded a tag title shot. Santino announced the Hardys versus the Righteous versus champions in a 3-way ladder match at Slammiversary. The Righteous laughed, saying the Hardys were gone. What? The lights went out. Matt Hardy's laugh played and the ladder appeared. And ain't no better team in the history of wrestling that knows ladders like the Hardys. We got the Elegance Brands taking on, I'm going to call them the Coven, the team of Ali, Rosemary, and Mara Sade. A brawl broke out even before the bell rang. Sade hit a middle rope and dropkick on Maggie Lee. Rosemary used her dial to control Ash, making her dance and hits different spots. Heather tagged in, choked Rosemary, Ali tagged and cleaned house, hit the running codebreaker for the W. The Coven celebrated. Alec been regrouped. They don't know what to do. Rosemary got that dial. And we got a Slammiversary rundown. We got Moose versus Eddie Edwards, the world title match, the tag title match, and we got some more matches coming up. Our main event was Mustafa Ali taking on Casey Navarro, with Ali putting the international championship on the line. Navarro hit a dive early before the break. Navarro escaped an STF and hit a famouser for the 2 count. Navarro then hit a flipping neckbreaker for another near fall. No matter what he did, Ali had an answer or was definitely going to kick out. Now Navarro dove into a sharpshooter. Ali forced him to tap. Ali reapplied the sharpshooter and Nemeth and Santana ran down to make the save. Ali teased the belt shot and Nemeth super kicked him. Nemeth then hit Santana with the danger zone and stood tall to end the show. Over on SmackDown, this show gets a fist, and ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna let you know right now, LA Knight is done. That main event push is over, ladies and gentlemen. Kathy Kelly interviewed Jade, who said she thrives under pressure and will repeat as Queen of the Ring. Remember, she did win last year. This led us to the opening contest of the Queen of the Ring: Charlotte, Jade, Sol Ruka, and Lyra Valkyria. Jade was triple teamed early and often, but she kept powering out and posing. Charlotte chopped Jade until B-Fab and Meechin dragged her out to the ring. Listen, I would just have, it's no DQ. So B-Fab and Meechin should just be fighting everybody. Alexa Bliss ran out, but was Swarm and Tiffany joined to even the odds. Charlotte hit a top rope cross body. Jade kicked out. Lyra kicks. So hit a flip dive on all three. Lyra broke up Jade's penitent, but ultimately Charlotte locked in the figure 8 on Lyra to get the W. Tiffany says she helped Charlotte because neither wants Jade as champion, but don't get it twisted, I do not like you. Meechin and B-Fab attacked Tiffany, and Chelsea Green made the save. Okay, but where does Blake Monroe fit in all of this? Jacob Fatu said he was sent by the Tribal Teeth, and Jimmy said Jay was handling his business on his own. Fatu said he was there for Solo, not Jay. Jimmy said he was there to prevent interference, and Fatu said everyone should handle their own business. Gunther said he didn't trust Nick Aldis' officials and said he would choose the referee. Aldis asked who, and he said, well, we'll find out a little bit later. Finn Balor said he was happy to be on SmackDown. Truth welcomed him back to the Judgment Day, and everybody's confused. Priest arrived and coldly welcomed Finn. Truth said the Judgment Day was rising again, and Priest said it was just him and Truth tonight. Mind you, ladies and gentlemen, Truth, Priest, Finn, and Rhea are all on SmackDown. And the original 3 members of the Judgment Day outside of Edge, Priest, Rhea, Finn. I'm just saying, it's right there. Paige and Bree took on Fatal Influence. Ultimately, Paige and Bree got the W as they followed him. He tried to cheat. She got rolled up, but Bree reversed the roll up. All right, they were a little shocked. Paige and Bree getting W's. We out here. We were in the ring. Sammy said Europe supported him, but the US didn't. Sammy said he keeps helping Cody, but ends up paying for it. Cody says Sammy was desperate and not the man fans fell in love with. Cody says Sammy only cared about the WWE title and would never win it. Sammy slapped Cody. Apologizing, Cody slapped him back. Sammy nearly attacked Cody with a chair, but walked away. He's conflicted, but Cody did cross the line. Jacob said Roman wanted Solo to come home, and Solo said Roman treated him like a dog and made him kneel. Solo said he wasn't going back, and Roman could go to hell. If he wants me, he can come himself. Fatu said he understood but was staying on business. Fatu said he was only coming for Solo. Solo said tell Roman to come and get me. Ray Phoenix, wow, put his AAA Cruiserweight Championship on the line against Axiom in a fun match. Phoenix ultimately won with the spinning kicks and the Mexican muscle buster. Gunther said he needed a referee who knew the rules and was a good guy. And who's been going on about being a good guy these last few weeks? Well, none other than one Sami Zayn. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. Gunther chose Sami Zayn as the special guest referee for his match against Cody. Nick Aldis was stunned. Trick Williams said Losing woke up something to him. Ricky interrupted. Mello interrupted, saying that he was already beat Mello, and Trick told him to fight each other for a title shot. Solo said Jacob was there to help Jay advance, and Solo said Keys didn't need him to fight for him. Solo wanted Keys not to become a casualty of Roman's war. Tiffany Stratton and Chelsea Green took on Meechin and B-Fab. Green struggled to reach Tiffany for a tag early because Meechin and B-Fab were putting in their work. Jay inked Tiffany off the apron behind the ref's back. Green hit the Unpretty, but Meechin hit the Styles Clash to get the W. Forget that she was in the club. Tiffany attacked, but with triple team, Jay hit the Jaded on Tiffany. Looks like she wants that championship. Kiana said Julia abandoned her when she needed help. Julia said, I needed you for my English to help me get acclimated. And then she slapped Kiana and walked away. Cody asked Aldis if Sammy was really the ref, and Aldis said Gunther's lawyers forced the stipulation. Cody said Sammy was emotionally unstable, and Sammy said he wasn't sure they were good. Okay. All right. Knight said the odds were against him, but he wore the crown right to Roman's front door. Which led us into the final men's King of the Ring matchup. LA Knight, Finn Balor, Royce Keys, Jay Uso. Solid match. This took up the last half hour of the show. Entrances included. Balor hit the flip dive to break up early pins, and Keys hit a stretch of offense where he looked really good. So Jay super kicked him. Balor hit the coup de grace. Keys broke up the pin. Knight then hit a series of his signature moves. Keys countered the BFT. Solo spiked Knight, but Keys, right, hit the Ultimate Spine Brothers. As that happened, Jay hit the splash to get the W and pinned LA Knight. Solo looked frustrated at the outcome, and Jimmy celebrated with Jay. Keys stared at Keys stared at Solo in confusion. Solo did nothing wrong. Solo actually helped Keys. Jay just did it. So the men's side of things in the second round will be Jay Uso versus Javon Evans and Dom versus Oba Femi. The second round of the men's King of the Ring is all Raw superstars. Over on Collision, this was the summer blockbuster. This gets an enthusiastic thumbs up. This show, ladies and gentlemen, this is the rare week, right, where Collision was just better than Dynamite. Collision was 2.5 hours, and they loaded the show, ladies and gentlemen. So opening contest was Kenny Omega taking on Bad Dude Tito from New Japan. Kenny's getting warmed up for his match against Zack Sabre Jr. for Forbidden Door. And Bad Dude Tito looked good here, but he was never going to W. Kenny won, hitting the V trigger followed by the one winged angel. Kenny said he missed the Owen, but was climbing back to the top. He announced Zack Sabre Jr. will be his opponent for Forbidden Door. He compared Sabre to Danielson, and Nigel said he was coming for MJF after Zack Sabre Jr. I think Zack Sabre Jr. has fought on every Forbidden Door show, and I believe last year he was the world champion. Kyle Fletcher blamed Takeshita for Davis's tournament loss and vowed to bring the international title back to the family. Okada agreed and said, "Pro Okada." The three all acknowledged and their shared goal of taking out Takeshita. Hikaru Shida took on Zeta Steel. This was for the survival of the fittest qualifier for the TBS Championship. Shida overpowered Zeta early and controlled the pace, but Zeta countered with her athletic offense and near falls. Shida regained control with some strikes and knees, but Zeta applied the Koji clutch. Shida got out. The Ultimate Shida dropped her with the Falcon Arrow and transitioned into a submission, and Zeta Steel tapped. Shida attacked Zeta Steel after the match until Daniels pulled Zeta to safety. What is going on? What Shida, that loss to Stat did some things to her. Bowen said he felt invincible thanks to Samoa Joe, and Bowen was demanded applause from the crowd. Hook told him to know his place. You are not the leader. Hook said the ops only speak through him. Bowens looked frustrated. Joe's also off filming season 3 of Twisted Metal. The Rascals won themselves a quick match, taking on Aaron and Austin Atlas. This was Wentz and Xavier. They said that they were the hottest trio in AEW, and they will be going after the tag team titles. This transition to Myron Reed, the third member of the Rascals, who will be taking on Kevin Knight for the TNT Championship in a fun match. These two dudes were kind of evenly matched until Reed hit the Hang 5 in a running ramp cutter, but Reed also landed a 450, but Knight reached the ropes, counter with the cutter, drop kick, crash landing retains the championship. We got a video package for the Divine Dominion, and they said their dominance was inevitable. They warned the division that no one will be left standing. Heavenly straight to hell. Who will challenge them? I hope it's a team from Stardom for Forbidden Door. Maya World was in the backstage. She spoke about losing her brother and dedicating her run at the Owen to him. She said Athena taught her everything she knows. Athena said she respected Maya's loss, but had her own ambitions. Athena said she didn't teach Maya everything she knows. Athena said Maya was living in her own world. This led into Athena winning a quick match over Tiara James. This was a non-title match. She made the young lady tap out. She dropped her with a taxi, then transitioned to the Koji clutch. After the match, Athena attacked James. Maya ran in to stop her. Athena blindsided Maya and dropped her again with the belt. Ricochet said he faced his ups, he had his downs, and he noted his 2-1 record over Jericho. Ricochet called out Takeshita for the international title and said he was coming for more gold. Then we got the Dogs taking on the Young Bucks in a fun tag team match. This is like a pay-per-view match that you just get on TV. This is just what AEW does for us, ladies and gentlemen. A really fun match. The Bucks controlled early with fast double team moves. The Dogs took over. Ultimately, the Bucks hit the BET trigger, but Finley broke up the pin. Then used the shillelagh behind the refs back, and Dogs hit the full clip to get the W. We got the Conglomeration, who said they would face the Don Callis family in a cage, and Briscoe will reveal his team on Dynamite. Roddy hates Max, and Kyle said the next world champion would be from Sandy Fork. In the ring, Thekla came out after Tony Schiavone apologized for her actions last week, and she was like, no. She assaulted the Stardom again, and she won't apologize to AEW or anyone else. She said Stardom fired her, but she became world champion. Look at the monster you created. She spit in her hand, then wiped it on Tony Schiavone's jacket, and challenged anyone from Stardom to send their best. We got the Bang Bang game backstage. Austin Gunn bragged about investing their winnings, and Drew said he performed all procedures at their clinic. Okay. They mounted the Dogs and promised to neuter them. They ended up with the guns up. Where is Jay White? That is the last piece missing from the Bang Bang gang. Persephone took on Julia Hart in a survival of the fittest qualifier. Persephone countered Hart's early aggression, but Hart targeted the eye. Remember, Julia is the one that missed it. Persephone hit multiple dropkicks for regaining momentum. Hart escaped up the ramp, but got power slammed. Hart attempted the black miss, but Persephone slapped it away, hit the Cruiserweight powerbomb, and gets the W. It was announced that the person confronting Thekla at Forbidden Door will be none other than the luchador herself, Starlight Kid, who has a win over Thekla. Thekla mock Starlight Kid. She mocked Stardom. She said Kid's first AEW match would be her last, and said she would spill Stardom's blood, and it will all be on Starlight Kid's hands. Mike Bailey took on Jake Doyle, who was accompanied by Kevin Knight. Bailey used his speed early, but Knight distracted him. Doyle overpumped Bailey, controlled the match. Bailey rallied with his aerial offense and near falls and countered Doyle did counter the ultimate weapon and hit a slam. Bailey landed a shooting star press, but Doyle kicked out. Doyle hit a rolling elbow and a set up powerbomb to get the W. Knight celebrated with Doyle and posed over a beaten Mike Bailey. But our main event, ladies and gentlemen, Death Riders, Shane Taylor Promotions, Cincinnati Street Fight. SDP ambushed the Death Riders outside the venue, and the fight went from outside to the crowd to the ring. Taylor used brass knuckles on Mox, who was obviously bleeding. Claudio returned, masked and cleared the ring. Adora, Dean, and Bravo used weapons and tables to regain momentum. Marina fought off STP. They dropped tacks and glass and everything, and Army men in the ring. Remember, Marina wrestles barefoot, and she was walking through the Death Riders ultimately rally with the final assault on Shane Taylor. Mox at the paradigm shift to get the win to send the crowd home happy, his hometown crowd to be more exact. Our matches of the week. DDB actually got some matches up here, ladies and gentlemen. From Raw, the men's King of the Ring match, Javon, Seth, Bron, and Talla Tonga. From NXT, we got 3 of them things, ladies and gentlemen. Fraxiom versus Noam, Dar, and Romeo Moreno. My favorite match of the week, Kendal Gray versus Kelani Jordan. I can watch these two wrestle every day and twice on Sunday. I need a best of 7 series with them. Also from NXT, Zaria versus Tatum Paxley for the NXT Women's North American Championship. From Dynamite, Swerve Strickland versus Brody King and their Owen Hart match. From Smackdown, Ray Phoenix versus Fraxiom for that AAA World Cruiserweight Championship. From Collision, the Dogs versus the Young Bucks, the Death Riders versus Shane Taylor Promotions in that Cincinnati Street Fight. And from New Japan Dominion, the United Empire versus the Knockout Bros for the IWGP Tag Team Championship. And Yota Tsuji versus Callum Newman for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Our stars of the week: Yota Tsuji for becoming champion once again, United Empire for becoming champions again, Zaria, new champion, and Maya World for fighting through the pain. And she had a really, really tough week, but here she is. But that is our show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Check out the socials: Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic_Creations 52 on Instagram, and of course the 215 on Twitter. You see you on the screen what we got coming up. I see you when I see ya. Peace.